Hey guys, what's up? Hope you're having a great day. So I just saw the new Suresh Gopi movie Paappan, directed by Joshiy, Malayalam cinema, one of the most senior most directors. Now, as I was waiting for the movie to begin, the cinema halls were starting to darken and they were playing the trailer of Tallumala. So as all of that was happening, I just realized something. The last Suresh Gopi movie I saw in a movie theater was Chintamani Kolakes. That was back in the year 2006, right? I think 2006. Okay, off the top of my head. So yeah, so that was 16 years ago, and it just struck me at that point, like, oh my God, it's been that long. Okay, so and I like Chintamani Kolakes. Here and there, I felt a little exaggerated the performance in certain sequences, but overall, I like the suspense and the story of that movie. Now here I was watching Paappan. Movie is kind of in the same genre also, so I was interested and I was looking forward to it also. And now after having watched the movie, I can say honestly that it's okay. That's the best thing I can say about it. It's not that great, but it's not that bad either. It's okay. It's strictly a middle ground for me, and I'll tell you why. This movie, when it focuses on its suspense and its twist, it's very interesting. And the key word is when it focuses on it, because this movie is almost 3 hours long, and there are a lot of unnecessary sequences and scenes. There are personal relationships, there are subplots. You don't need that, in my opinion, because the interesting part of this movie is it's the main crime. There's a serial killer of sorts, and that person's killing a few people. So there's a whole suspense and some flashback scenes and things like that involved in it. So that itself was enough. That was enough. But in between that, you have certain other elements going on. I don't want to give anything away, because the movie's trailer have given certain information. In my opinion, that's all the information the movie makers have given to the audience. So if I were to share anything beyond that, I think it would be a kind of a spoiler, so I'm not going to go into that. But having said that, I'll give you some basic idea of it. There's a serial killer investigation going on. People are being murdered, certain clues are being left behind. Suresh Gopi plays Inspector Abraham Mathan, who's also known as Paappan. That's sort of his nickname. He's a retired cop and he's called in as sort of an advisor. Right off the bat, I'll say there were shades of memories. The movie starring Prithviraj, there were shades of that over here and there. Also, there were shades of Anjam Padra also. I get the feeling that, Mr. Joshiy, with all due respect, I really appreciate the work that he's put in here, because he's definitely made an attempt to sort of update what he's done before. There isn't that, the best thing I would say is that there isn't that hangover of the previous Joshiy movies we've seen. He's sort of updated the things that he's done in the past, because how this movie and story is presented. Now, having said that, there are also certain influences. Without going to specifics, I just felt like there were shades of Anjam Badra and memories here and there. I just felt it. It's not too apparent, but you kind of get the feeling, because when Memories came out and when Anjam Badra came out, those movies have a certain impact in how investigations were, the investigative stories were told. So they've taken some inspirations from those movies. I'm not saying it's a direct copy or anything like that. They've done something different, but you can definitely see certain inspirations. There's definitely that influence over there. But I want to stress this. When they concentrate on the suspense and the investigative part of the story, this movie is very interesting. The problem is, this movie also has certain personal relationships and issues going on. I'm not going to give that away. It involves Suresh Gopi and a certain a lady police officer. That's all I'm going to say. And also, I want to give something, give a little bit of information. This is not an out-and-out Suresh Gopi movie. You think Suresh Gopi, Joshiy, there's that impression in your head. I had that impression going in. So I was a little disappointed about that, because, Suresh Gopi, the actor, the superstar, the action guy we know him to be, you only see him sort of being that Suresh Gopi towards the end of this movie. I would say in the final 30 minutes. That's when you see that Suresh Gopi pop up and do some action and do some stuff, Until then, Suresh Gopi is sort of in the background, where he's like, yeah, I'm here. I'm still here. I'm, Suresh Gopi. Yeah, I'm all here. But he isn't doing that much, because there is a lady police officer. Her character is ASP Vinci, played by Neeta Pillai. She's done a great job. That's a very interesting character. Again, I'm not going to give away the dynamic between Paappan and ASP Vinci. There's a certain tension or issue between these two, but you'll see as you watch the movie. I'm not going to give it away because you slowly discover that as the movie progresses. So that's why I'm not giving it away. But coming back to the story, Neeta Pillai plays ASP Vinci, who's in charge of this investigation, and Suresh Gopi's character Paappan is a retired circle inspector who investigated let's say a previous murder case. So these two cases are connected, so he's called in sort of like an advisor. So for that reason, he is sort of in the background, especially in the first half. You don't see Suresh Gopi a lot or involved in the story that much. It's mostly ASP Vinci. I don't want to discredit the actor in any way. Neeta Pillai has done a great job with the character. The problem is the trailer and how this movie was promoted was sort of Joshiy, Suresh Gopi movie, and it's been a while since we've seen that kind of movie, so that was sort of the expectation going in. So instead we got this a very female centric, female driven police investigation with Suresh Gopi in the background. That's the one I got, and it's because you go in with a certain expectation and you're getting something else. I'm not saying it's bad, but it kind of gave you a different impression on what your expectation was and what it gave you. Now the first half of this movie is kind of boring in my opinion, because it takes a long time to get started. Initially, there's a murder and you're kind of interested to see where it goes, and suddenly it's almost like there's a pause over there in that story and they go into another story, cover a flashback with a song sequence. I remember when the movie had just started, like 15 minutes into it, and suddenly the song sequence comes in. A few people just got up and went outside and pop. By the time they came back and sat down, the song sequence was over. I mean, everyone got it. As soon as the song sequence started, it's like, oh, okay, so they're showing this with the flashback. Okay, got it. So they got up, they went and had popcorn and came back. That's why I said certain things like this, just unnecessarily drags this movie. It started at 10:30. I think by the time I got to the movie theater, it was 1:35. I just felt like, if they had cut this movie down to a 2-hour movie, it would have been perfect. They would have tightly edited it, kept the story, focused on the investigation and the suspense part. Because when they focus on the suspense, it's very interesting and it's very confusing also. Because in the first half, they gave you hints. Second, in the interval point, there's a big twist over there, and then when you come into the second half also, every time they focus on the case, it's leaving you confused, like what is going on. So you're trying to guess, oh, this is what happened, no, that's not what happened, suddenly there's something happened, oh, okay, so you're pleasantly surprised. But every time you're trying to get into the movie, suddenly there's a pause and they go into another little thing and you're like, okay, because there were many times when I was like coming like this and like, oh god, again this. Then I started looking at the time, I'm like, okay, oh, okay, interesting, fine, I'm watching. Then I'm like, oh god, again. So that was, it's like a roller coaster. Like sometimes it went really good and sometimes like, I want to stress one more time, this is not a bad movie. It's just a little slow and a little frustrating. But overall, I would say it's a pretty decent effort from director Joshiy's part. He's definitely updated what he's done in the past. Suresh Gopi does a great job with his character as the retired police officer. His son is also in this movie, Gokul Suresh. Unfortunately, he doesn't have much to do. He's sort of like, want of a better word, sort of like his assistant. He's there always, on his right or his left as his assistant. Okay, what are we going to do now? Okay, what are we going to do now? That's his role over there. He's sort of like there to assist. Even if you kind of replace him with someone else, it doesn't, even if the character is not there, it doesn't make a big change to the story. So his character, I feel it was kind of wasted. He really didn't have much of a role over there. Now for my final rating, I would give this 2.75 out of 5. Overall, it's an okay movie. It falls apart when it focuses on personal relationships and other subplots. But when it focuses on its suspense and investigation parts, the movie is really good. Overall, I feel like this is a time pass movie. If you have time to kill, it's worth a watch. That's it for the review, guys. If you like this review, hit the thumbs up icon, and of course, subscribe to my channel for more reviews and videos like this. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Bye.